Welcome to Moment of Truth. My name is Nadia Sean.
I'm Davidi Buddy. Welcome to the show.
Lovelina Bacchus. Welcome, everyone.
And we have our wonderful guest. He is Dr. Gate, and we're going to give him the opportunity to introduce himself as we talk about rest and relaxation. Dr. Gate, over to you.
Thank you, wonderful hosts. Yeah, you introduced me. My name is Nicholas Gate. I'm a nurse by profession, and I enjoy coming on Moment of Truth.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gate. So today we are talking about rest and relaxation. So let's jump into our question. What is rest or what is relaxation? When somebody asks you, are you relaxed? How do you feel relaxed? So what comes to your mind when you say what is relaxation?
Yeah, so obviously relaxation means relax. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's just bringing your body, your mind, and your whole being into some state of low tension, low stress related tension. So much so that if you were up there in terms of your stresses and all these things of life, you want to find a way to bring it all the way down here. And in so doing, you have to use certain means, techniques and stuff like that. And that is where we say you are in a state of relaxation.
Thank you so much. David, buddy.
So I want to ask, how important is it for us to learn about relaxation? Don't we relax enough?
Yeah, that's what you may think, right? And that's what you would wish. But yes, our bodies, like I said, we are living in an environment. We relate with our environment. We interact with our environment, and the environment is full of stresses. And so over time, we come to have an accumulation of them. And if we don't have an outlet, if you don't find a healthy means of dissipating some of those stresses, then they can build up and cause harm to you. I don't know if you want me, if you don't mind, I would want to make it clearer by letting you know, trying to delve into what some of these stresses are. Because without darkness, you wouldn't see the importance of light. So once you get to know the stresses, then you come to understand better what relaxation really means, right?
Right.
So from the onset, from your previous question, I told you that it is your ability to bring yourself into a state of low tension, body and soul, mind and body. And which basically would tell us technically that there are physical components of them and there are emotional components or psychological components. So once our body, your body, you and I, our body was designed to experience and react to stresses, right? We were designed to have the ability to experience it because it's good. I'll talk to us about it. And our ability to experience it and manage it well will work for us. On the other hand, if we don't, then we are going to get ourselves into trouble.
So there are good sides to stress.
Yes. So
okay, tell us about the good sides.
Okay. That is good. I have this joke that I say I'm beginning to forget more these days, and I say that I enjoy my forgetfulness. And they say, "Are you think it's a forgetfulness is good?" I said, "Yes, it is, because then if you piss me off, by the time I get to the door, I've forgotten about it." And so there's a good thing of everything. So yeah, there is a good stress, which is technically we call eustress. Eustress. Why? Because why did they design us to handle stress? The reason being, there's something called normal stress. Like, let's say you got a new job, you got a promotion, Let's say you are given a greater responsibility or something, or even being alert enough to avoid danger. It means that you have to be able to have that mechanism that quickly shifts you into that ability to interact with your environment to meet those new challenges. In other words, if you are comfortable doing what you are doing now, and then next week your boss comes and says, oh, now we are putting you are doing such a good job. We are putting you responsible, making you responsible for XYZ extra. Sometimes you just, how can I don't even know how to, that kind of thing. But that which pushes you into that state of, anxiety, state of emergency kind of, and then it helps you to delve deep and do what you are supposed to do to accomplish that task. That is eustress. That is good. But then in the long run, we get something, if it stays, if it goes, and I will explain this down the line, if it stays and lingers, it gets into something called distress when it becomes negative, because it is not designed to be something that is continuous. It is supposed to be, you acquire it, use it to do something, let it go. But if that thing is not going anywhere, it's going to come back to bite.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gatti. Lavina, do you have a follow-on question for Dr. Gatti?
So, Doc, my question is the antidote for stress realization? Is that the only thing that you can do to curb your stress? Thank you.
No, well, I would say that, so there's nothing like absolute only thing in this world, right? But that is the big part of it. Finding ways to unwind, finding ways to dissipate, let it go, is all going to help you to work this out. Let me go back and say, inevitably, we are going to have stresses in life. Hallelujah, it's good. And the best thing you can do for yourself is your ability to manage that stress. We cannot live, we will never have a stress-free life. It doesn't exist. So where stress are going to be there, but our ability to manage that stress in a way that it doesn't harm us is all there is about this. And of course, relaxation, finding ways to relax, is the way that lets you cut off that stress source, so to speak, so that you will be functional, you'll be healthier, you will live a healthy life. Let me give you some examples and statistics here. And I just want to stress before I even give you the numbers that it is not the stress itself which is often the problem. The stress is, bad enough, but the way you respond to it, the way we respond to that stress often is even more problematic than the stress itself. Let me give you an example. Some people feel that, well, I'm going to knock off this stress by drinking more alcohol, right? I'm going to drink my problems away. Some will use drugs. Some would use, they just go on a spending spree. I'm going to give myself a treat. They go spend and, accumulate debt on their credit card because they are stressed, right? Oh, the room, I don't like all this furniture. I feel as soon as I see it, I feel something. So they take their credit card, go and swipe a whole set of new furniture in the house. That is a wrong way of dealing with your stress. And that is where the problem is. That is where sometimes it is. In fact, some people, it's just like even getting themselves into risky sexual behavior just to find ways to deal with stress. And those are the ones that would, in the long run, come to bite. But the statistics says that 43% of adult Americans, 43% of all adult Americans suffer from the adverse effect of stress to their health, right? 43%, almost half of us. 75 to 90% of all doctor's office visits, are related to stress. Some condition. They are not going saying that, doctor, I have stress, treat me for stress. No, the condition is in a way related to stress. 75 to 90% of that. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, I believe you've heard that name before. Yeah, they have declared stress as a hazard in the industry. And in fact, it cost, can you believe this? It cost the American industry $300 billion a year. And why? Why? How? So why would that cost? Where's the money going? Look, by way of accidents, by way of mistakes, by way of errors, by way of sick times off and all that. So it is huge. It is something that nobody can underestimate. And I believe that your audience listening to this, as they pick up bits and pieces of what we are sharing, they will see the importance of dealing in a healthy way, dealing with stress in a much more healthy way.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gatti. We're talking about stress, our moment of truth. But sometimes the question that people ask themselves, how can I tell I'm being stressed? Because sometimes you are, like you say, you are in heightened state of awareness and it's your new normal. So you are doing all these things and you are talking about the coping mechanism. You are doing all this coping mechanism, but you don't even realize that the shopping spree that you are going through, the drinking that you are doing are all part of the underlying issue, which is your stress factor. So what are some of the signs that you can tell that you are being stressed or you are stressed?
That's a beautiful question. And in fact, you answered half of that question. And I'm so happy that your question answers itself, right? Yeah, so basically, if I have fever, the only way I can know that I have fever is a sign. Put a thermometer under my tongue and you will see that my temperature is, in the range of fever. Unfortunately, this is not a physical condition that you can put a thermometer or an instrument and say, hey, your number is 90, you have stress. No. But by the symptoms, by the signs that I exhibit, that will show that maybe we are stressed. Look, we're not going to even beat about the bush. We spent 2 years indoors, 2 years doing nothing, 2 years scared of going out there, 2 years, changing everything that we knew was normal. Tell me anybody who will say that they are not stressed at this point. It is just because we probably don't recognize it. But as we talk about some of these symptoms, I'm not going to say that use that to go and diagnose your husband and say, oh, he's doing this thing recently, so he's probably stressed. Yes, if you did correctly diagnose him, then you have to prescribe a solution, maybe buy the ticket and go on vacation. But hey, stress affects all aspects of our life, right? Including our emotional lives, our behaviors, our thinking abilities, cognitive levels, our physical health itself. That is strongly affected by stress. And so nobody is immune to it. Don't tell me that I'm a strong man, and therefore, especially us men, I'm sorry, men, I'm happy that I'm the only man here. we think we are inevitable. We are, invincible, right? We feel like, nothing me, I'm too tough for this stress thing to weigh me down. I know how to take care of myself. And then we'll be falling apart, gradually. So because some of those symptoms can be very vague, and some of them also mimic the physical issues that we already can experience, quote unquote, without stress. So sometimes it takes the trained eye, the trained person to let you know that, hey, it's time to slow down. So let's talk about some of the signs. I believe that's what you are looking for. So emotionally, if somebody is getting stressed, you will see that we become a little more agitated, frustrated, moody. How would you know this? You only know this if you live with that person and know their baseline. And then you can say that, no, this time the little thing I would say, he's upset. The little thing I would say, she's all over the place. Like that's not him or her. And that is how, in a subtle way, you try to know that maybe it's about time we give ourselves some me time. Sometimes you feel overwhelmed. You feel loss of control. You feel like I need to be in charge. You feel like I'm struggling to have my mind relaxed, to sit still, to be focused. All those things are building up right there. You know, sometimes you feel bad about yourself. Just all of a sudden, you know, you are thinking negative, so low self-esteem and anxiety. And I don't want to use the word depression. We use depression in various levels. So let me hold that. But on the physical side, you find yourself that now you have low energy. You do something, sometimes you feel so that inertia, the desire to even get up to do things is just not there. You used to be there to get up and go kind of person, but now you drag yourself a little bit before you start doing the basic things you want to do. There are the physical side, headaches, unexplained headaches, upset stomach. You know, there is something called stress ulcer. Have you heard that before? Just stress ulcer. You go to the hospital, we put you on Protonics because we know that you're going to have stress ulcer, something like that. Loss of appetite, insomnia, you know, feeling, you know, loss of even sexual desire. You don't feel it. And all these things are the physical aspects of it. And cognitive wise, you start worrying. You worry too much. Your thoughts are all over the place. Forgetfulness. Well, I do forget, but I don't know whether it's a stress. Poor judgment. Your inability to focus. And then, you know, loss of appetite and basic things like that. You will see that, and like I said, it's no different from some of the things that you experience in related to other things. So you look at it collectively and look at your life and say, where have I been all these 6 months? So there you are. There's a lot of them, but you know, I will just leave it here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gatti. David Body, you have a question for Dr. Gatti?
Miss Lovina, I'm trying
Yes.
to
Right, Doc, I have two questions, so I'll put it together. My first one is, you said stress ulcer, but some people stress and they also eat so much, but you didn't mention that. So is that like, is there another? And also, there are some people that are really like, they're going through it, but they hide it and they don't want to do anything with medication and they are trying to fight it. I don't know, but is it always good to fight it yourself, or it has to get to a point that you should have medical support or something like that? Thank you.
That's a beautiful question. Yeah, so yeah, and I would talk to, when I get to talk to you about, say, the long-term effect of it, maybe I will mention the overeating and the obesity part of it, right? They are very important too. But yeah, and I alluded to your second question in the previous answer, that here we are, especially us men again, when we feel like we live in denial and think that we are okay. And, you know, one, because we are quote unquote ignorant of it, we don't know that for all the factors I've just enumerated, like, oh, all of a sudden this time I seem to forget too much. That is normal with age, but it is abnormal in your case. All of a sudden I'm seeing things that is not me. All of a sudden, some of these physical things can be said of me, which were not. The person is irritable, like you sit by them watching TV and they are upset. You know, you see that something is not right. And oftentimes, like I said, we live in denial. So it takes somebody who is observing you from outside to point some of these things to you, assuming I will accept it. But then that is the fact. Somebody will notice that there are some changes. You can find out yourself if you know yourself and you know how to be truthful to yourself. You could really tell that something is not right with me lately. But then it's even if it's your spouse, your family member, somebody close to you, that can help you to see that something is not right. Let me point one thing. When we live with our moms, okay, or our dads, and then dementia is setting in. For instance, they are growing and they are getting demented a little bit. You living with them struggle with it because you've forgotten that this person could be developing this, and everything they do, you are upset with them. This some common thing. I told you this one yesterday, and you are still, you know what I mean? You yourself, it takes you time to adjust to the new normal. But as you listen to this, if you find yourself critiquing, criticizing the people around you so much, it's about time you sit back and say, hey, could this be because we've been indoors for so long? Could this be because we are stressed? Could it be because, it's about time. And then to finish it off, at some point, professionals are there for a reason. You are not you are not kind of certified to diagnose yourself. It's okay. We want to only be physically sick before we go and see our doctors. Book an appointment and go and talk to your doctor. Talk to a professional, not just a doctor, a psychologist, somebody who is a professional in the field, and perhaps they might be able to help you a little bit.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gatti. So I'm thinking, when we're talking about the overall rest and relaxation, and just even how we see stress in our day-to-day life, I think with mental health issues, because the mental health issue combined with stress become a bigger challenge in our community, and also the fact that we don't even talk about it. So how do we even approach the subject? Because you seeing it as a warning sign, or seeing this problem arising in our community, but we don't even know how to discuss it or how to address this. And so this is moment of truth. How do you advise us to really tackle this mental health issue combined with dealing with the daily stresses that is affecting us?
Thank you. And I'm glad that you know your audience very well.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes directly to us. And I thank you guys for doing this, because forum like this is what brings people attention to some of these things. Like, sometimes we are not sensitive to some of these things until somebody points it out. And then it lights that bulb in your head and say, oh, I see. No wonder XYZ, or I've observed this and that in this person, or even in myself. So yes, if you are listening to this program tonight, that is your wake-up call to say that you have to do that self-examination. Introspectively look at yourself, and then think about your family as well, and say that, do we need to talk to somebody? Do we need to have this conversation? Because oftentimes, look at the things the way we started. It starts like irritability, anger, a little depression, loss of self-worth and stuff like that. One step further, you are in clinical depression. One step further, you are in mood disorder, stuff like that. So your personality has changed. Nobody was born coming into this world and say that you have this package of diseases, mental illness is for you. Everybody thought that they were not, this thing doesn't bother them until they find themselves in there. So nobody is immune to any of these things. And so we have to constantly, as we listen to this stuff like this, do that examination. Go get help if you feel like you need help. Now, to stress, I can't stress enough the need to have that conversation, the need to ask somebody, the need to talk to some expert, the need to initiate that conversation, the need not to hide anything, right? Me, myself, I'm beginning to say that my heart rate, now I feel heart palpitations. I do this, I do that. It's a sign that something is not right in you. And do you have to hide it? No. Have that conversation. Because oftentimes when you see these issues and tackle them at a baseline, at the bottom, you prevent them from becoming bigger issues later down the line. So yes, mental health has a lot of stigma in our community. And because of that, even when people are seeing the signs, they want to deny it. They want to kind of brush it under the carpet, but it will stay there forever. It will come back, it will explode, and will be more costly than if you had, taken care of it, earlier.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gatti. I want to tackle the, Davi, you have a question for Dr. Gatti?
No, go ahead.
So I want to also tackle it when it comes to our children. You know, with our children back to school, summer program is coming up. Our interaction with our children may be less or more. Maybe we see some developmental challenges and changes. How do we, because sometimes as parents, we tend to ignore that our kids are growing. So we tend to say, oh, or, you know, we tend to brush it aside. How do we tackle it when it comes to our children? What are some of the conversations we need to start having with our kids as they are developing in order for us to address the issue?
Number one, we all know that, let's say, teenage, and that's a very bad statistic, but teenage, say, suicide is on the rise. It's very disturbing, alarming. It's just like you said, people are not having that conversation. They are not looking keenly at the growth and development of their children. We live in a community, we live in a society where we have a lot of resources around us. And I would challenge us to use them. Don't use your doctor only when you are sick. In fact, they would rather you don't get sick than get sick and come to them. So preventive measures should be more important to us than curative or, after the whole thing has blown up, now you are trying to fix it. So as you live with your kids, show interest in their life. Let me tell us one thing. We come from backgrounds where we lived in open societies. You give your kid breakfast and they are out of the house. They are going to play football, soccer the whole day. When they come back, they are hungry. So there is that outward expression, interrelationship, human interactions. That is how human beings were made to be. We are social beings. So it's a healthier growth. Now we are confined to our single family homes. We don't see the sun. We have to take pills to get vitamin D. The kid can only run from here to the living room, the end of the living room and back, and all that. These things are not conducive for the development of a child. And therefore, we have to plan it. Give them summer break. Let them go to the camp. Let them relate to their friends. Let them go out there and play. We know that we all know that there are hazards out there, but within limits. Send them to the playground. Have time as a dad, as a mom, to take your kids to go and sit in the playground and let them just jump over, climb over that thing, play with other kids and all that. Those are for healthy growth and development of your children. And if we clump in and then keep ourselves within and everything like that, it doesn't foster well for development. And so I think if I answered your question well, we should show keen interest. And everything we are doing, we have to deliberately plan to get to that destination. It won't just come by itself.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, viewers. We are talking about rest and relaxation, and we are also dealing with stress. So like, share, subscribe, invite somebody to come and listen. This is Moment of Truth on Adonai Radio. We thank you very much. My question to you, Dr. Gatti, is looking at, in the past, I used to think that once you sleep and you wake up, you're relaxed. But from what we're saying, that is not it at all. So what if you're living under this kind of stress for a long time? What is the outcome? You've been stressed for a very long time. Maybe it will just become your personality, or is there something worse that can happen? And also, what are some techniques for relaxation?
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's, of course, we have to find some of the solutions, some of the ways to come out, get it fixed. But in the long term, I just want to talk about that long-term part of it. Everything we have said, okay, let me just take a step back. So I started from the beginning saying that we have the ability to respond to changes in our environment. You and I know that there is something called fight and flight hormone, ability in you to prepare you to fight or fly away or run away from danger. Okay, that is something that is a mechanism that is designed in us for us to react to that unexpected danger. So all of a sudden you are walking and a lion pops out of the bush right there, right? You will run the 100-meter dash in 5.6 seconds, and you wouldn't know how you made it. You made it that way, right? Because you are designed to, there's going to be a rush of chemicals in your system that will give you that strength and that power and whatever it takes to react to the danger. It is, the chief of them is a very beautiful hormone they call cortisol. Cortisol helps you to metabolize and get yourself in that fight or flight mode, together with other hormones and chemicals in your system. And so during this time, your heart rate will go up, your breathing will be faster, your blood pressure will be high, your alertness is all the way to the top and all that. That is to prepare you to face that thing. After it's done its job, it is supposed to decommission itself and go away, to work itself away. However, in practice, sometimes it's not like that. The cortisol level in our blood stays so high because we are so stressed. And in the long run, it's going to harm our body. That is not the normal state of the body. So we have to find ways. And some of it, we've already shared some of the ways that is going to reflect in your life. But in the long term, we talked about the mental issues. We talk about the cardiovascular issues, or the strokes, or the mental, the heart attacks and eating disorders that will make you obese. And the other way around, even for you ladies, stress can alter your menstrual cycle, believe it or not. Stress would screw it up, and you will not understand how all of a sudden everything is out of whack. The things that you take pleasure in, even I believe the guys will understand, but your libido will go down, your sexual appetite would disappear, and all that. So these things are all not good in the long run. But how do we, like I made a statement that you have to make a conscious effort to undo all these things, right? So what do you do? What would they recommend? What do the experts say? There are a variety of relaxation techniques that you can delve in, a variety of them that you can delve in. And I'm not an expert in the field, but I know that there are so many. Besides that, if you are like me and you want to outsource everything to somebody, go and see a therapist. There are people who are paid to do that, to counsel you, to help you out in all these things. But if you are also the DIY person, do it yourself kind of person, there are basic things that we all know that we can do. Like aroma, there's something called aromatherapy, where people use essential oils, some fragrances, natural oils and stuff like that, that they inhale, and it's believed to help you to relax, right? That is what comes under aromatherapy. Those natural fragrances have been proven to work very well. In my hospital, we have something called Code Lavender, where we have a little bag of all these essential oils and stuff like that. When a staff says stress, crying, something like that, you give it to them, the lavender, they will smell it, they go and sit down, just elevate your legs, sit down in the chair, relax, take it, then they kind of calm down a little bit, right? So that is called aromatherapy. There's good old breathing techniques. Breathing helps you to relax. America here, you would have heard it a million times. Take a deep breath. Everything take a deep breath and you'll be able to do it. Yes, it helps you to relax. Deep breathing, also called diaphragmatic breathing, it's a technique that is used to relax. There is this 4-7-8 method that you can use. Like, let's say you are somebody who is struggling to sleep, which is in itself is also a symptom or a sign of some of those stresses we are talking about. You become insomniac. You can't sleep. You go and lay down there, you cannot sleep. Now, breathing technique can even help you to sleep. What the 4-7-8 is that you take a deep breath, very deep breath in 4 seconds. Take an inhale all the way to your lung is like busting. Hold it in for 7 seconds. Hold it in for 7 seconds. And slowly breathe it out for over 8 seconds. Do it multiple times. If you cannot sleep, it works for me. If you are struggling to sleep, you probably will fall asleep after that. You get so tired before you notice you are gone. But yeah, deep breathing brings down your cortisol, and it's a technique that works well for some of these relaxation things. Good old exercises. We cannot stress exercise enough. Exercise does everything. You go to the doctor's office, everything, go and exercise, diet and exercise. Yeah, it is true. Exercises. And I believe that our biggest thing, we don't have time. We don't have time to exercise. We are sitting on a treadmill and we are looking at that thing that is not being done. So we wanted to go for half an hour. By 5 minutes, we are looking at a watch and maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Kind of exercise. Even walking, go out of that house, go and walk and come back. Exercise, we can't stress that enough because it's applicable, it's profitable in a lot of areas in our lives. Yoga is a form of exercise, which is very popular here in this place. So if you want to go into that, that helps a lot. Individual meditation. Meditation means different to different people, right? To the Eastern religion people, meditation is sitting down, emptying your soul, doing whatever, all kind of gymnastics. That's what that's what works for them. But for most Christians, it is called prayer. Most Christians, it's called quiet time. Sit down and meditate. Take all these things, junk out of your mind. Or go and pray for half an hour. It's almost like a long exercise. And all these things help you out. So meditation is a big one there. There is something called massage. Have you heard that before?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Africans don't think the value in some of these things. But these stresses we are talking about, they sometimes manifest themselves in muscular tensions, right? Group of muscular tensions. You feel it over here, you feel it in your back, and it's all over. Oh, my back, my head, yes, you need massage. Go and lay on that table, let the expert, on what you call it, on loosen those knots and let the muscles relax and begin a good blood circulation in your system. It helps a lot. We don't talk about massage a lot in our community, but it's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. Every now and then, give yourself a treat. Go to the spa, go and relax, get some good massage.
It's believed that massage is for old people,
Oh my God.
The older you get, the more massage you need. If you had old people in your home, it was their medicine.
No, it's really good for you and I, everybody. Give yourself that treat. People who initially were reluctant, over time, they come to like it and they can't do without it. But massage is really good. It helps you to relax. Music. There's something called music therapy. In this day and age, we have noise canceling headphones. You can invest in one of those things, sit in the chair, put in some music, some soft music, something that makes you relax. Relax there. Cut off the world and soak yourself into that music. For a few minutes, if you can, and then allow it to de-stress you, allow it to help you out, allow it to release you. I am a clinician, so I can't say this without talking about medications. Even though medication in this, I'll put medication at the very tail end, like if all else fails, right? Yeah. Sometimes you need some anti-anxiety medication. That class of medication called benzodiazepines are the first drug of choice, but don't make medication one of your things. It should be when all else fails. And that should also be done under the guidance, under the direction of your doctor. Finally, I want to talk about something called cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. So basically, it is something, a therapy that you use to help people to recognize and confront unhealthy thought patterns. So cognitive, that means you are consciously reasoning that problem out. So you confront the faulty thought patterns that is in your head. You look at it and see how this thing is destroying you, and then you make conscious efforts to replace them with good thoughts. Let me use an example. There's a song, a Christian song, which says, "Count your blessings, name them one by one." Mm-hmm. And it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Take it out of that place and bring it here and say that you can focus on all the blessings in your lives, the ways that you have been blessed. That will help you to knock off all those negative things that we tend to dwell on and ruminate upon them and chew them back. And the one spot that is not good, that's what we focus on. Let me say, if I haven't shared this thing before, they said they had a small room somewhere, and on the wall, it's a very white wall, and then they made a pencil dot spot on that wall. And then they sent people to go into the room, about, let's say, 100 people. And when you come back, they ask you, what did you see? What would they see? Almost 90% of them saw that they saw a black spot. You know what I mean? They will come and say, oh yeah, I saw a black spot on the wall. And nobody said that we saw a white wall, which is the biggest of the thing you will see in the room. The white wall was way bigger than that little black spot. But every human being that went in there was focusing on that black spot. That is how we behave sometimes in our lives, where we are focusing on the insignificant, the ones that didn't go our way, the things that are undesirable. And then we forget about all the many blessings that we have received. So that comes under cognitive brain behavioral therapy. That helps you to rewire yourself, your mindset, so that you will focus on the good things in life.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gatti. You wonderful information. So this is Moment of Truth, and we are talking about rest and relaxation, dealing with stress and everything. But one thing that I really we talked about earlier, we're talking about ulcer, like stress ulcer, and we also talk about eating too much and then getting overweight. So then we have this eating disorder. So because sometimes when people are stressed, they're like, I want comfort food. They got the ice cream, and somebody can literally sit there and eat a whole box of ice cream or a whole container of ice cream because they consider it comfort food. How do we balance it out so that our comfort food doesn't become our harm? It doesn't become a negative side effect because we went to the extreme.
Thank you. So that you point out nicely how the whole thing is. And we had said that there are very good, very healthy coping mechanisms versus unhealthy coping ways. One of the unhealthy ones is just exactly what you have described. I'll be the most fake person if I sat here and say that you don't indulge in one or two things that you like every now and then. But the buzzword these days is everything in moderation. We say that all over the place. Especially, we have the knowledge that, let's say, too much ice cream is not good for you, right? And then you say that, well, that is my way of coping. When I'm stressed and I eat ice cream, the stress kind of melts away. Well, perhaps it works for you, but it's an unhealthy way of dealing with a problem. And you cannot chase bad things, with bad things, hoping that it will turn good. We have to look at our behaviors. You have to do our coping mechanisms and say that there are healthier ways, like we have shared before, and there are much more things that are subtle that we can incorporate into our lives that will help us to cope better than, binging on things that we know. And if you are, let's say, binging on ice cream just to melt away your stress, you are probably no different from somebody who is binging on alcohol, or somebody who is also, indulging in unhealthy sexual behavior, or indulging in, say, shopping spree, kind of. Yeah. So yeah, there are good ones and there are not so good ones, and it's good. It will be good to try to make good choices.
All right, Doc. So my question is, can your guts affect or influence your stress? When your gut is not really working well, does it have something to do with your stress and your stress level?
Gut as in your GI system, your
Yes,
gastrointestinal system?
Yes.
Everything human body is interrelated. Okay. Our system works in different ways. Okay. At the baseline, that gut is supposed to digest your food, absorb the good ones, eliminate the bad ones. So assuming you have, part of, and I didn't say this, but some of the signs of stress is, say, diarrhea. Stress can cause diarrhea. And assuming you are on, say, antibiotics, pure antibiotics, and you have diarrhea, you take it, the medication is gone before it's absorbed. For instance, I'm just using that as an straight example. So everything that happens in there, your level of absorption, stress causes something called ulcerative colitis, which makes it's a very horrible condition in your GI. It causes flares in people with a lot of GI issues, let me put it that way. Like we talked about ulcers and all that. So yeah, they are related. Whatever is happening, stress, it can cause these, and these will in turn stress you. In fact, being sick, going to the bathroom every 10 minutes when you are flying to Atlanta, you have to stop that is stressful enough, right? You are so concerned, I'm moving from here. Can I even get there before I have to go to the bathroom? That is stressful enough. So everything is interrelated. And dealing with stress, let me say something funny. Years ago, when I was doing my bachelor's, we had to do a thesis. It was, I don't know why we call it thesis, but it was almost exactly the same as we do now in any level. And I picked a topic that was bigger than me. Okay, the topic was, I had no business picking that topic. And when I studied and stressed and researched and did everything, okay, in my bachelor's degree. One day I noticed that there was a patch here in my hair, or I had hair loss in a very small patch, almost like it started like a dime. And within weeks, that patch has grown to like a quarter size. And the whole skin was so shiny in that spot alone, nothing, no hair. I couldn't believe it. So I didn't know what it was. I had to see a doctor. I went to the doctor. Africa. I wanted a doctor to give me some pills to swallow, some injection or something. And this man just listened to me and said, "What do you do?" And he listened and listened. And then he said, "Look, it's stress. Go and do this, blah, 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 blah." And trust me, the whole thing disappeared. You don't see it in my head anymore. But I don't know how that thing works. It makes me, I'm so, sensitive to stress now. That stress can do some nasty things to your body that you cannot explain in any way. And so, yeah, you are so right. It's just related.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gatti. Moment of truth, we are talking about stress, relaxation, just dealing with our own mental health issues. And Dr. Gatti, I'm really grateful that we are able to talk about this in a form that really address the issue that our community is facing. Because in all aspects of it, when you don't talk about it, you don't have, because I think one of the things that I when we talk about stress is because you feel like what you're going through is normal, so because you think it's normal, you're like, why am I going to talk to so and so about it, because they are also going through the same thing. But I think it helps if you talk about it, because when you talk about it, then you are distressing yourself, and then you are, breathing in, you are letting some of the things go away. So I just want to ask you, is there a way that we can talk about the issues without making it an issue? Because sometimes it's just open your mouth to tell somebody that you're stressed or you have mental health challenges, and then it's like, it's so hard to even come out of your mouth. Like, how are they going to see me? How are they going to, view me? So all these things just really put a blockade in front of, dealing with our own health issues.
Yeah.
Doc, let me add this to Antina so you can answer it together. My question is also, how can our community, our families, spouses support? As Auntie is saying, when we come, it's like when people talk about it, they don't get the support or the love or the affection that they need. It's like you go and tell Auntie and she's telling you hers. So it's like you go home and you are even overburdened because you went to share with her and now she's telling you something even more or even severe than what you are going through. So when things like that happen, how do we support each other in that manner?
Thank you so much. Yeah, we can't stress that enough. First, I want to start with you as families, okay? If you don't do that already, and all your audience listening to us, if you don't do that already, if you have this time that you meet as family for quiet time or for family devotions or for anything, incorporate it. In my workplace, every morning before we start work, we do a huddle. And in the huddle, we ask this question, okay, check in with us. Everybody's going to check in. Give us one word of your mood at this point. Stressed, excited, happy, ready to go, stuff like that. So make it part of your family gathering time. Let's open up and let people feel free to share. If you are the mom, the dad, be the one to put it out there, because you sharing your challenges will teach the kids that after all, it's normal. Even mommy faces the same problem. Oh, I thought I was the only one who goes through this. But apparently, mommy is also struggling with this. Parents set a good example. Open up for your kids to be able to share, to say this openly. Now, for time, let me jump to, as a community, we are not good in telling people to seek help. Everything we want to quote unquote put it in the spiritual realm and then talk it away, or say go and pray. I'm going to pray with you when you know that you are not even going to pray with that person anyway. So they said this, and you say, I'll pray with you. I'll remember you in my prayer. I'll keep you in my prayer. Tell them to go and see the expert. Tell them to go and see the psychologist. When you go and see the psychologist, it's not the same as a psychiatrist. And even if you have to see a psychiatrist, so what? So go and sit down with somebody and talk, a professional, and talk. And so that you might, sometimes one word you say would tell the professional that you need something deeper than you think. Then they will help you out. So we should get into that ability to pick up the signs, because look, they say when the worst dangers they don't come with a flag on it. Like when a big danger is coming, they don't come with a big flag on it, danger, danger, danger. No, they can be very tiny, but if you are not trained to pick up those signs, spots, somebody is trained to do so. Talk to them and they will help you. If somebody came to you to share this thing with you, their personal thing with you, don't brush it away. Don't encourage them to seek help. Take them to look. in our church, let's say in the church, you go to a church, there are people who are, you are not going to officially go to their office, but right there when the church service is over and people are interacting, you say, go and talk to this person. You know that he's a resource person here. If that person cannot help you, they may be the ones pointing you to the right people. So we should not shy away from it. We should make it open. We should make it easier for people to say. If I have a minute, let me talk about a few things that we can be doing this summer, right? That will help us to make this part of our lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like we should make it incorporated in the way we live so that it will help us out, right? We all agree that we need to de-stress. We need to go out there. We need to open up. We need to relate. We need to let go, open all those channels for these things to get out of us. The big thing you have to do is to book it. If you want to write it, book it. Look at your schedule and find a place first and put some of those things in there. Book something. Give yourself, like, at the very least, let's say this is my schedule. This 30 minutes block, I am blocking it. It is my me time, okay? You might think that you are, I don't have time. I can't waste 30 minutes. Look, that 30 minutes relaxation, taking care of yourself will make you more productive later. It will make you a better team player later. It will make you easier to deal with later. It will make you smile. You think that your family demands are so much that I cannot let go. I have to take care of my kids. Look, when you have given yourself that mean time, relax, and you are functioning better, it benefits everybody in the family. And so should everybody. So book it, put it in your calendar right there. You have to take that 5 minutes, sit down somewhere, just do a deep breath. Take 5 minutes at a time. Take a deep breath. Just breathe in and out 5 minutes and then go and you'll be more productive. At least once a month, carve out something somewhere. Because there is so much in our life, we want 25 hours a day. If God gave us 25 hours, we'll be asking for 26 hours a day. Come on, give yourself that half an hour and give yourself a treat. It's okay to say no gracefully. We want to help everybody. We want to be the Superman. We want to, help everybody. It's okay to say no and say, oh, I'm sorry, today I have this time. You are not being selfish because that person will benefit from a better you, okay? So if they are demanding your time, your attention here and there, sometimes say no so that you can give yourself that little break, elevate your legs, and then relax. And when you say set these things up in your schedule, stick to it. If you did it 3 months and you knock it out of the window, that's it. It doesn't help you. Stick to it. Make a commitment. Put it in your husband's time. Put it in your wife's time. Make sure that you are making it work. Take a vacation this year. Have you booked a vacation? Take a vacation. A vacation is not a waste of funds. It makes you a better person. It makes you a healthier person. It makes you more productive. Discuss it with the family and take some vacation.
Don't go to Ghana though.
Ghana is not vacation. It's a working vacation. You come back tired.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Gatti. And you're right, our time is fast spent. So we just want to ask, just if you have some last minute shout outs or some last minute words, and then my co-host also, give us their last minute words. So do you have any more last minute advice for our audience?
The only thing I have is to say, do it. The Bible says that now you have heard all these things. Now that you've heard all these things, blessed are you if you do it. Mm-hmm. It is not hearing it per se. We have read all the textbooks out there. We know all the good things out there, but if we don't start somewhere, if we don't do it, it is of no use. So do it. Do something. Give yourself a treat this year and tell somebody that I started this project, I started this program. Share with somebody so that when you fail to do, somebody will hold you accountable to it.
How about your shout out, Dr. Gatti?
Well, shout out to all my ladies on Moments of Truth. I am so impressed with what you guys do. I know the dedication it takes for you to keep this going. I know what it takes to chase people around to even get people to come to the show. And keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gatti. We really appreciate having you, our guest. And you are informally nominated to be part of our program. So you know you have a position right here with us.
Yes.
As a co-host.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Lavina, you have some last minute words?
I have learned a lot. Thank you so much, Doug. One thing I want to say is that let's show our support behind our friends. A lot of people are going through a lot. And also we shouldn't be too strong. Sometimes we act all strong, but we die inside. So we shouldn't be so much concerned about what people will say or think, but we should share and get the help that we need. Because if we do that, that will put us at the right spot before we will say, had I known. That's one thing I want to say.
Thank you so much, Lavina. Davi, over to you.
Thank you so much, Doc. We are so excited that you came. We have had a great time with you. I've learned a lot, especially to book it, right? Put it in there so that I know that this is the time, not just decide I'll make time this week, but have a particular time that is time. So thank you, our lovely viewers. We believe you've also learned a lot, and with learning comes questions. So do not hesitate to put your questions in the chat and we'll get back to you. We want to thank the following support and partners. We want to thank Ashon Collections. The number to reach Ashon Collections is +233 243 548 925. Also, we would like to thank My Care Family Clinic. That's Dr. Lillian was here last week. The number to call My Care Family Clinic is 240-460-9032. Thanks to El Shaddai International Market for all your support and for partnering with us on Adonai Radio Moment of Truth. El Shaddai International Market is in the Southern Square Shopping Center. The address is 2620 Annapolis Road, Southern Maryland, 21144. And the number to call is 443-274-2094. Thanks to Delatech Global, where they train IT professionals. So if you want to learn how to be an IT professional or you want a change of career, you can call 443-764-1106. 443-764-1106. Comfort Realty, they will help you get into your dream house. And our friends and partners of Moment of Truth on Adonai Radio, all that you do to support us, we thank you very much. Thanks to Presiding Elder Esefi and the technical team who make us look good on air. And thanks to my fellow co-hosts, thank you so much for all you do. God bless you. And to our viewers, we look forward to seeing you again, same time next week. Until then, back to Auntie Alberta.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gatti, for being our guest. We also want to thank our national head, Apostle Amwaku, for their support of us. And I also want to thank our original head, Pastor Johnny Kudoff Ansa, Territorial Bishop, and Mama Florence, for also their support of us. And of course, as we're talking about the month of June, remember that it's Father's Day, so start planning ahead so that way you will not be stressed and then you don't buy the bad gift for Father and then Father is stressed and you are stressed. So please plan ahead. And all the people that birthdays in June, we wish them happy birthday. Until next week. Bye.
It's bye for now.